Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. The year 1973 may not instantly strike you as a landmark in American coin history, but for collectors of Jefferson nickels, it holds a quiet yet powerful significance. The Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent piece, had already been a staple in U.S. coinage since its introduction in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. By 1973, the design had become an iconic part of everyday American life, but certain examples from this year have become hidden treasures for those with sharp eyes and patient hearts. The obverse of the coin proudly features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, facing left. Designed by Felix Schlag, Jefferson's profile is dignified yet simple, capturing the ideal of American resilience and intellect. His name is inscribed to the left of the bust, while the word Liberty and the date rest to the right, joined by a small star as a delicate separator. This design, though unassuming to the average spender, has become the foundation for decades of numismatic fascination. On the reverse side, the coin depicts Monticello, Jefferson's architectural masterpiece and lifelong home in Virginia. Above the neoclassical building are the words E pluribus unum, while below it, the inscriptions Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America are neatly arranged. It's a design that balances historical reverence with visual harmony, making the Jefferson nickel a timeless piece of circulating art. In 1973, these nickels were struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins bore no mint mark, while Denver's pieces carried a small D, and San Francisco's coins featured an S, reserved mostly for proof strikes. Each mint produced millions, but as with all coins, not every specimen was created equal. While most 1973 Jefferson nickels passed through countless hands in everyday commerce, a tiny fraction escaped the wear and tear of circulation. Some were preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition straight from the mint, while others became rare because of unusual striking errors or exceptional die quality. It's these small details that make certain coins from this year worth far more than their face value. Collectors often search for examples with sharp, full steps on Monticello's staircase. This full steps designation indicates that the coin was struck with extraordinary precision, capturing even the delicate horizontal lines at the base of Jefferson's home. Because striking technology and die maintenance varied in the 1970s, finding a 1973 nickel with this level of detail is no easy feat. The proof coins from San Francisco, struck with polished dies and mirror-like surfaces, have their own appeal. These were never intended for general circulation, making them inherently more collectible. However, it's often the circulation strikes with perfect details or dramatic errors that command the most astonishing prices on the open market. Some of the most sought-after varieties from 1973 include double die obverse or reverse strikes, off-center errors, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. These minting anomalies transform an otherwise ordinary nickel into a numismatic marvel, sparking bidding wars among passionate collectors. Condition is everything in coin collecting, and the grading scale plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. A 1973 Jefferson nickel in heavily circulated condition may only fetch a few cents over face value, but one in pristine, high-grade condition with the coveted full steps designation can leap into 4 or even 5 figures at auction. The coin market is driven by rarity, demand, and quality, and Jefferson nickels are no exception. Serious collectors understand that these 3 factors, when combined, create the perfect recipe for a coin to skyrocket in value. The 1973 nickel, in the right form, checks all these boxes. Over the decades, this coin has quietly built a reputation among numismatists. While silver coins often get the spotlight, the humble nickel has proven time and again that it can compete with the giants of American coinage when it comes to collector interest and financial reward. Auctions have shown time and again that passionate bidders are willing to pay astonishing sums for coins that combine rarity with perfection. A perfectly struck, high-grade 1973 Jefferson nickel can inspire a frenzy of interest, especially when the coin's luster, strike, and historical significance align in just the right way. The story of the Jefferson nickel is also the story of American history. Born during the late Great Depression, it has witnessed world wars, economic booms, and cultural revolutions. By 1973, it had already been a companion in the pockets of Americans for 35 years, making it both a workhorse of commerce and a subtle piece of heritage. For many collectors, part of the thrill is knowing that treasures like this can still be found. Whether tucked away in a forgotten coin jar, hidden in a bank roll, or resting in a dusty dresser drawer, these coins have the power to surprise anyone lucky enough to stumble upon them. The 1973 nickel teaches us that value isn't always obvious. What looks like an ordinary 5-cent piece to one person could be a life-changing discovery to another. This is what makes coin collecting such an addictive and rewarding hobby. Every coin has a story, and every story could end with a remarkable find. As interest in vintage U.S. coinage grows, so too does the competition to secure these top-condition examples. Collectors worldwide are recognizing the charm and potential of Jefferson nickels, especially those from years like 1973 where rarity and condition intersect in fascinating ways. Even novice collectors are beginning to learn the importance of checking every coin they encounter. With the right knowledge and a bit of patience, they too can join the ranks of those who have turned small change into big fortune. The 1973 Jefferson nickel stands as a reminder that sometimes, the most ordinary-looking coins can hold the most extraordinary secrets. Every detail, from the fine lines of Monticello to the faint shine of untouched luster, can make all the difference in determining its worth. So if you happen to come across a Jefferson nickel from 1973, take a moment to look closer. You might just be holding one of the rarest and most valuable examples ever struck, a piece of history small enough to fit in your pocket yet valuable enough to change your life. And for the luckiest collectors, one pristine 1973 Jefferson nickel has been known to reach an incredible value of $127,000. Top 2. In the world of coin collecting, there are years and mintages that fly under the radar, quietly waiting to be discovered by a sharp-eyed collector. The 1987 United States Jefferson nickel is one such hidden gem. At first glance, it looks like just another everyday coin, something you might find in your change after buying a coffee. But for those who know what to look for, certain examples from this year can be worth far more than their modest 5-cent face value. The Jefferson nickel has been a fixture of American coinage since its debut in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, its obverse features a bold and thoughtful portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the nation's third president and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. His gaze is steady, his expression calm, symbolizing leadership, vision, and enduring influence. On the reverse, Monticello stands in elegant detail, Jefferson's cherished home and a masterpiece of American architecture. The building's neoclassical lines, flanked by inscriptions and crowned by the national motto E pluribus unum, have been a constant for decades. Below it, the words Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America remind us of the coin's identity and value. By 1987, the design had already been in use for nearly 50 years, yet it continued to hold a special place in the hearts of collectors. That year, the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced millions of nickels for circulation, while the San Francisco Mint focused on creating proof coins for collectors. Most of these coins were destined to live out their lives in everyday transactions, never drawing a second glance, but as in all years of minting, a few coins stood out from the rest. Some were struck with extraordinary precision, resulting in what collectors call full steps on the Monticello design. This level of sharpness is rare because most circulation strikes fail to capture every line on the building's staircase due to die wear or production speed. A 1987 nickel with perfect full steps instantly commands attention in the numismatic world. Condition plays an enormous role in a coin's desirability. The vast majority of 1987 nickels have been spent, handled, and worn down over the decades. Finding one in pristine mint state, untouched by circulation, is far more challenging than most people realize. And when such a coin also possesses a flawless strike and perfect luster, it becomes something truly extraordinary. Adding to the excitement are the occasional minting errors. Coins struck off-center, on the wrong metal planchet, or with double designs are rare accidents that can transform an ordinary nickel into a valuable rarity. These mistakes are unpredictable, and each example carries its own story of how it slipped through the mint's quality control and into the hands of the public. Collectors know that rarity isn't just about age. A coin from 1987 can outshine older coins in value if it combines scarcity, condition, and collector demand. The right combination of these factors can drive prices to surprising heights, as seen in auction houses where seemingly modern coins fetch thousands of dollars. Part of the appeal of the 1987 Jefferson nickel lies in its accessibility. This isn't a coin that requires deep pockets to start searching for. It could be hiding in plain sight, in a roll from the bank, or in an old jar of change at home. That potential for discovery keeps the thrill alive for collectors of all ages, even though the nickel's composition has remained largely the same, 75% copper and 25% nickel. It's the artistry and historical connection that give it an enduring charm. Holding one feels like holding a small piece of America's story, a link to its past presidents and architectural heritage. In the broader landscape of U.S. coinage, the Jefferson nickel often competes for attention against silver dimes, quarters, and half dollars. Yet, time and again, it proves that value isn't limited to precious metal content. Sometimes, rarity and perfection are worth far more than the metal itself. Proof coins from 1987, struck at the San Francisco Mint, are another treasure in this series. Their mirror-like surfaces and frosted designs make them miniature works of art. While they are easier to find in good condition, certain ultra-high-grade proofs can also achieve impressive auction results. Over the years, coin grading services have helped collectors identify and preserve these high-quality examples. A certified, top-graded 1987 Jefferson nickel can become the centerpiece of a collection, drawing admiration for both its beauty and its market value. The market for Jefferson nickels has been steadily growing, fueled by a new generation of collectors who appreciate the challenge of the hunt. Every so often, a standout 1987 nickel surfaces, causing a ripple of excitement and renewed interest in the year's mintage. It's worth noting that these coins often gain value not just because of their rarity, but because of the competition among collectors. When two or more determined bidders set their sights on the same coin, the final price can soar well beyond expectations. For the casual observer, a 1987 Jefferson nickel might look like just a piece of small change. But for the numismatist, it's a potential prize, a coin that could represent both a significant find and a fascinating chapter in American coin history. The lesson here is simple: never underestimate the coins you come across in your daily life. A single, overlooked nickel could be worth more than most people imagine, and stories of life-changing discoveries continue to inspire collectors everywhere. If you ever come across a pristine, perfectly struck 1987 Jefferson nickel, take a closer look before you let it go. Examine its steps, check its luster, and consider its condition. It could be one of the rarest survivors from that year, because among the very best examples known to collectors, one remarkable 1987 Jefferson nickel has reached an astounding value of $70,000. Top 3. The Jefferson nickel has long been one of the most familiar coins in American pockets, yet certain years hide treasures that most people would never suspect. Among them, the 1985 United States Jefferson nickel stands as a quiet rarity, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance but has the potential to be worth a small fortune under the right circumstances. For collectors, it's a year full of subtle details, minting quirks, and the thrill of the hunt. The design, of course, is instantly recognizable. On the obverse, we find the dignified portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, his eyes fixed on the future. Designed by Felix Schlag and introduced in 1938, this image has become a symbol of American leadership and intellect, surviving decades of change while retaining its timeless character. Flip the coin over, and Monticello takes center stage on the reverse. Jefferson's historic Virginia home is rendered with clean, neoclassical lines, framed by the national motto E pluribus unum above and the denomination and country name below. Even after decades in circulation, the artistry of this design continues to stand out among America's coinage. In 1985, Jefferson nickels were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins for collectors. Millions were minted, but not all were created equal. A few exceptional coins from that year possess characteristics that set them apart and make them highly desirable to collectors. One of the most sought-after qualities is the full steps designation. This term refers to the clarity of the lines on Monticello's staircase. Most nickels from 1985 show blurred or incomplete steps due to worn dies or weaker strikes, but a small number have razor-sharp, fully defined steps, a sign of precision minting that drives collector demand sky-high. Condition is another decisive factor. The majority of 1985 nickels entered circulation immediately after production, accumulating scratches, dings, and wear over decades of handling. Finding one in pristine, mint state condition is difficult enough, but combining that condition with a full step strike makes the coin even rarer. Minting errors also play an exciting role in the value of this year's nickels. Off-center strikes, double dies, and coins struck on incorrect planchets are all possibilities that intrigue collectors. These accidents, while rare, can transform a common coin into an extraordinary find worth hundreds or even thousands of times its face value. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint hold a special allure. These were never meant for circulation, and their mirrored fields and frosted designs make them miniature works of art. While proof nickels are more easily found in high grade, certain perfect examples or unique error proofs from 1985 can still bring in impressive sums. The 1980s were not generally considered a golden age for U.S. coin rarities, but the 1985 nickel is a reminder that modern coins can be just as valuable as older silver or gold issues. Rarity, condition, and collector demand can elevate even a coin made of base metals into a high-value prize. Coin grading plays a crucial role in this market. Professional grading services examine every detail, from strike quality to luster, and assign a numerical grade. A coin in mint state 67 or higher with full steps can sell for astonishing amounts, far outpacing its more common counterparts. Part of the excitement for collectors is that these coins can still be found in the wild. Someone could unknowingly spend a rare 1985 nickel at face value, never realizing its potential. This possibility keeps treasure hunters searching bank rolls, old jars of change, and inherited coin collections. The Jefferson nickel's longevity adds to its charm. Since its introduction in 1938, it has witnessed major historical events, technological advancements, and cultural shifts, yet it remains in everyday use. The 1985 issue is just one chapter in that long-running story, but it's a chapter with its own unique intrigue. Even within the same year, the differences between individual coins can be dramatic. A worn, circulated example might only be worth a few cents, while a flawless, rare strike example could command thousands of dollars at auction. It's the collector's challenge to know which is which. Over the years, auction houses have seen competitive bidding for top-grade 1985 nickels, especially those with full-step certification. These coins often spark battles between collectors determined to secure the best of the best. This competitive market means that when a truly exceptional specimen appears, the price can soar far beyond what most would imagine for a modern nickel. Demand is fueled by both seasoned collectors and newer hobbyists who recognize the coin's hidden potential. Stories of remarkable finds only add to the coin's mystique. Tales of rare nickels discovered in pocket change or pulled from bankrolls serve as inspiration to thousands of treasure hunters across the country. It's proof that numismatic surprises still exist in everyday life. The 1985 Jefferson nickel reminds us that value is not always about age or metal content. It's about scarcity, condition, and the desire of collectors to own a piece of history in its finest form. Sometimes the most unassuming coins are the ones that command the highest rewards. For anyone lucky enough to find a top-tier example, the discovery can be life-changing. What once seemed like an ordinary 5-cent coin can reveal itself to be a rare and valuable artifact of American minting. So, the next time you come across a 1985 Jefferson nickel, take a closer look. Examine the steps on Monticello, check the luster, and consider the condition. You might just be holding one of the rarest survivors from that year, because among the finest known examples, one pristine 1985 Jefferson nickel has been valued at an extraordinary $86,000. Top 4. The Jefferson nickel has been a familiar face in American change for decades, but in 2004, this humble 5-cent coin took a fascinating turn that captured the attention of both everyday Americans and serious coin collectors. That year marked a significant chapter in U.S. coin history, as the design temporarily shifted to commemorate one of the most famous journeys in American exploration, the Lewis and Clark expedition. And hidden within that year's mintages are certain examples that have become incredibly valuable. The obverse of the 2004 nickel still featured Thomas Jefferson, but for the first time in over 6 decades, the reverse design changed from the traditional Monticello to special anniversary themes. These changes were part of the Westward Journey nickel series, celebrating the bicentennial of the expedition that charted vast new territories and expanded America's reach. Two reverse designs were introduced in 2004. The first was the piece medal design, featuring a depiction of the original Jefferson Peace Medal given to Native American tribes. The second was the keelboat design, showing the vessel used by Lewis and Clark during their expedition. These fresh designs injected new excitement into the nickel series, making 2004 a memorable year for collectors. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced millions of these nickels for circulation, while the San Francisco mint struck proof versions for collectors. Although the mintage numbers were high, not every coin struck that year was equal in quality or rarity. Some 2004 nickels emerged from the mint with remarkable strike sharpness, flawless surfaces, or rare minting errors, features that have made them stand out in the numismatic world. One of the key factors that drives the value of a 2004 nickel is its condition. Coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated mint state are highly prized. Even more desirable are those that achieve the highest grades from professional grading services, as these coins combine visual perfection with historical significance. Collectors also search for examples with exceptional luster and detail, where every line and element of the design appears crisp and sharp. On the piece medal design, this means clear detail in the clasped hands and visible text on the medal. On the keelboat design, it means fine rigging, wood planks, and crew figures that appear as if frozen in time. Mint errors from 2004 have become particularly fascinating to collectors. Off-center strikes, die clashes, double dies, and coins struck on incorrect planchets have all been reported. These unusual minting events are like one-of-a-kind fingerprints. No two are exactly the same, making them highly sought after. The proof coins from San Francisco, with their mirror-like fields and frosted details, are a different kind of treasure. Although more common in high quality, certain rare proof errors or ultra-high-grade specimens have commanded impressive prices at auctions. While many people think only old coins have significant value, the 2004 Jefferson nickel proves that even modern coins can fetch incredible sums when rarity and condition meet. The Westward Journey designs have an enduring appeal because they represent a temporary break from tradition, making them stand out in the long history of U.S. coinage. Another reason collectors treasure 2004 nickels is their historical connection. The Lewis and Clark expedition remains a defining moment in American history, a journey of exploration, diplomacy, and discovery. Owning a coin that commemorates that journey adds depth to its collectible value. The market for these coins continues to be strong, as both seasoned numismatists and new hobbyists appreciate the combination of beauty, history, and rarity. Every so often, a standout 2004 nickel appears in an auction, sparking fierce bidding and driving prices higher than anyone expected. For roll hunters and change checkers, the thrill lies in knowing that valuable 2004 nickels can still be found in circulation. It's possible that a rare mint state or error coin is sitting unnoticed in a pocket, purse, or change jar, just waiting for the right eyes to spot it. The Jefferson nickel series itself has an impressive legacy, surviving through wartime metal changes, design updates, and economic shifts. The 2004 nickels stand as a reminder that even long-running series can surprise collectors with fresh designs and hidden treasures. One of the most enjoyable aspects of collecting is the element of discovery. The possibility that an ordinary-looking nickel could turn out to be a rare and valuable find is what keeps people searching and studying coins year after year. Stories of people finding valuable modern nickels in pocket change have fueled interest in years like 2004. These stories remind everyone that valuable coins are not just relics of the distant past, they can be products of our own time. That if you come across a 2004 Jefferson nickel, whether it's the piece medal or keelboat design, it's worth taking a closer look. Check for sharp details, strong luster, and any signs of minting anomalies. What might seem like a common coin could be a true rarity. The lesson here is simple: modern coins can be just as collectible and valuable as their older counterparts. All it takes is the right combination of factors, history, design, condition, and scarcity, to turn a pocket change discovery into a prize. Over time, coins like the 2004 Jefferson nickel will only become scarcer in high-grade condition as circulation wears them down. This makes now the perfect time for collectors to seek out and preserve the best examples. So the next time you find one of these special nickels, don't dismiss it as just another 5-cent piece. It could be a miniature time capsule from a year that celebrated one of America's greatest adventures, because among the finest examples ever found, a single flawless 2004 Jefferson nickel has reached an astonishing value of $58,000. Top 5. In the world of coin collecting, there are certain years that stand out not just for their mintage numbers, but for the stories they carry, and the 2006 United States Jefferson nickel is one of them. At first glance, it may seem like a modern, common 5-cent piece, but closer inspection reveals that some examples from this year have become highly valuable treasures sought after by collectors across the country. The Jefferson nickel has been part of American coinage since 1938, originally designed by Felix Schlag. But in the early 2000s, the series underwent dramatic changes as part of the Westward Journey nickel series. This program celebrated the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition, introducing temporary reverse designs in 2004 and 2005 before a new permanent design debuted in 2006. That year marked the official launch of the forward-facing Jefferson portrait by Jamie Franke. It was a bold change from the traditional left-facing profile that had defined the series for nearly 7 decades. Jefferson's gaze now looked directly at the viewer, creating a stronger sense of connection and a modernized look for the coin. The reverse returned to Monticello, but with sharper detail and an updated layout. The famous Virginia home of Thomas Jefferson appeared more refined than ever, with the inscriptions clearly defined and the architecture crisply rendered. This design combination gave the 2006 nickel a fresh yet classic feel, making it an appealing piece for collectors. In 2006, the Philadelphia and Denver mints produced hundreds of millions of nickels for circulation, while the San Francisco mint struck high-quality proofs for collectors. Despite the large mintage, only a tiny fraction of these coins exist in flawless, high-grade condition, especially among the circulation strikes. Collectors seek examples with exceptional luster, no contact marks, and sharp details. On the Monticello reverse, this means clear lines, defined columns, and an overall crisp strike. On the obverse, Jefferson's forward-facing portrait should show complete detail in his hair, eyes, and cheek without any flattening point. One of the most exciting aspects of the 2006 nickel market is the presence of mint errors. Off-center strikes, double dies, and coins struck on the wrong planchet have all been reported. These rare mistakes can catapult a coin's value far beyond what most would expect for a modern issue. Proof versions from the San Francisco Mint offer another level of collectability. Their mirrored backgrounds and frosted designs make them small works of art, and while many remain in good condition, the highest graded examples, particularly those with perfect cameo contrast, command strong prices. Another factor driving the value of 2006 nickels is the design significance. This was the first full year of the new forward-facing Jefferson, making it a milestone in the coin's history. Collectors often target first-year issues when assembling sets, which adds to demand. Condition grading plays a critical role in determining worth. Coins graded mint state 67 or higher are particularly scarce, and examples in mint state 68 are rare enough to cause bidding wars at auctions. In such grades, the coin is not just well preserved, it is essentially flawless. While the majority of 2006 nickels are still worth face value, the thrill for collectors comes from the possibility of finding that one extraordinary specimen. These coins could still be sitting in rolls from the bank, hiding in pocket change, or resting unnoticed in an old collection. The Jefferson nickel series has always been a favorite for roll hunters because it's still in circulation and affordable to search through. The idea that a 5-cent coin from less than 2 decades ago could be worth thousands keeps the hobby exciting. Stories of valuable 2006 nickels being discovered in everyday change continue to inspire collectors. It's proof that modern coins can offer big surprises, and that valuable finds are not just limited to older, silver-based issues. For those who enjoy the history behind their coins, the 2006 nickel offers a fascinating narrative. It marks the end of the Westward Journey program, the start of a bold new obverse design, and the return of Monticello in a modernized form, a blend of old and new that resonates with coin enthusiasts. The market for these coins has steadily grown as more collectors recognize the rarity of top-grade examples. With time, high-grade 2006 nickels will only become scarcer as circulated coins continue to wear down. even for those who are not serious collectors, there's something exciting about the possibility of turning spare change into a valuable discovery. The hunt itself becomes a rewarding experience, regardless of the outcome. It's worth remembering that every coin has a story, and some have stories worth thousands of dollars. The 2006 Jefferson nickel is one of those coins, an everyday object with the potential to be something truly extraordinary. So next time you spot a 2006 nickel, take a moment to check its details. Look closely at the strike, the surfaces, and any signs of unusual features. You might just have a rare and valuable treasure on your hands, because among the very best examples ever found, a flawless 2006 Jefferson nickel has been valued at an incredible $52,000.